started, first and foremost, you have some cards on your seats with pins. We are asking if you have questions for the candidates, fill those out, we'll grab them from you and give them to our moderators. We're not taking live questions from the audience tonight. Chris would be happy to take them. So,
Happy to.
okay. All right, good evening, everyone. On behalf of Douglas County Citizenry, I want to warmly welcome you and thank you all for being here tonight. We truly appreciate your time, your attention, and your commitment to being informed and engaged members of this community. I'd like to begin by extending our sincere gratitude to the candidates who have joined us this evening, as well as our moderators for helping guide tonight's discussion. We also want to thank each of you in the audience. Your presence here is exactly what makes gatherings like this meaningful and impactful. A special thank you goes to Douglas County Republican Women for co-hosting tonight's event. We're grateful for their partnership and support. If you haven't already, please be sure to visit their information at the guest sign-in table. While you're there, you'll also find information about Douglas County Citizenry, including how to join our Facebook page and a sign-up sheet if you'd like to receive updates and emails about future events. I'd also like to take a moment to share our mission. Douglas County Citizenry exists to bring together citizens of goodwill, to encourage, inform, and engage one another so that we can stand together in support of our constitutional rights. The right to live freely, to think independently, and to speak openly. We do not endorse candidates. Instead, we are committed to providing forums like this, spaces where both candidates and citizens can come together. Our goal is simple: to empower each of you to make your own informed decisions. To help ensure that tonight is productive and respectful, we ask that everyone follow a few important guidelines. First, please be respectful of others, even and especially when there is disagreement. Bullying, harassing, name-calling, or demeaning language will not be tolerated. We ask the focus remain on principles, policies, and solutions, not personal attacks. For our audience, we also ask that there be no calling out or interrupting during the event. If disruptions occur, there will be one warning, and if necessary, individuals may be asked to leave so we can maintain a constructive environment for everyone. If you have questions for the candidates, we'll be using question cards this evening. Please write your questions down, and they will be collected and presented during the appropriate time. Thank you again for being here, for engaging respectfully, and for contributing to a strong and informed community.
Okay, good evening. I just want to take a second to recognize some people that might be in the crowd. You guys hear me?
Little one.
Louder. Louder. All right. So if there's any elected officials inside the building, if you would stand and get recognized, please. Okay, if there's anyone who is currently a candidate for an office, if you could stand and be recognized, please. All right, next, any veterans or active duty personnel in the crowd? And first responders, any first responders in the crowd? All right, if everyone could stand, please, we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. You get to pick flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Both born and unborn.
Hello, everyone. First
of all, my name is Mandy. I do a radio show on KOA Radio from noon to 3, Monday through Friday. I am now joined by my colleague who is enjoying some Denver traffic all the way down here. This is Schuiling. He also does a radio show mornings on 6:30 KHAL, and we are very excited to be here. I want to start by, first of all, thanking the candidates for making the time to come tonight. I am not only a radio host, I'm also a resident of Douglas County, so I have a dog in this fight. And I'm looking forward to hearing a robust and substantial discussion about the issues facing Douglas County tonight from our candidates. Now, I want to give you a little bit of information. Oh, I also have to thank Douglas County Citizenry and Douglas County Republican Women. And I want you all to know that the questions that we are asking tonight have been vetted by multiple people in order to provide the most fair and balanced look at the candidates and give them a chance to explain their viewpoints, what they believe, and their vision for Douglas County without sort of any personal interference from opinionated people like myself. So, if you have a question, Whitney or Chris will pick it up at the appropriate time and bring it over. But I do believe that we've covered a lot of the issues. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer each question. And if they name their opponent in their answers, the other candidate gets 1 minute to respond. The questions have not been provided to either candidate. After the questions are answered, each candidate will be given a chance to ask one question of their opponent. Now, if they are, there's also an opportunity for 1 minute of rebuttal in that question and answer period. Please respect the time limits so we don't have to make you look like you can't follow rules, okay? As a resident of Douglas County, I'm looking forward to talking about some of the big things that are happening in our county, and I'd like to let Ryan, who's getting organized now, have a few words.
Hello and welcome. We appreciate everybody being here and to participate in a forum like this one with robust debate and a chance to get to know the candidates and a chance really for the candidates to get to know you. We appreciate everybody showing up and being in attendance today. I was just handed, this is literally breaking news, questions from the audience, so we're going to have to sort through those at some point and be able to ask those. So looking forward to getting to know these two candidates a little bit better. And as Mandy mentioned, I'm her counterpart. We moderated one of these debates in the forum of the Greeley for the gubernatorial candidates. So I guess you could say it's our second rodeo together, and we're looking forward to sharing all of this with you. We appreciate being included in this here tonight. I'm very honored. Thank you.
All right, guys, I want to start by allowing you a total here. We've got 2 minutes to tell us your opening comments. And John, I'll let you go first just because you're closest to me.
Thank you very much. My name is John Diak. I'm County Administrator in District 1 here in Douglas County. First, I'd like to recognize my wife, 27 years. She's a grand well. We have 3 lovely kids, 24, 21, and 18. I have deep local roots. I'm 43 years Douglas County resident. I'm 36 years in the Douglas County business community. 14 years as an elected official here in the town of Parker as a council member. The issues that I see are fiscal responsibility. Government needs to be responsible with the public funds. It's hard out there. And we, as the government, need to be responsible. Here in Douglas County, property tax credit has left us. We roll our sleeves and evaluate programs and initiatives to ensure funding is aligned with citizens' needs and make sure expenses are below revenue. Transportation is also important. Roads are a necessity within our community. I've been fortunate enough to be on the regional board, and within the last 14 years, we brought back over $100 million in transportation funding to Douglas County. That still needs to continue. We are behind, so we need to have a little bit more vision to go out the regional level and get additional funding for Douglas County roads. And lastly, public safety and safe communities are growing community. In Parker, we invest in law enforcement, we invest in training, staff training, technology on Parker Police to ensure a safe community. We truly appreciate our district attorney's zero tolerance and willingness to prosecute. It provides us the teeth to allow us to create successful policing here in Parker, and Douglas County will be no different. We will continue to fund law enforcement and work with what we can use to ensure that this county is safe. Thank you very much.
These are our timekeepers. You don't want to mess with them. You look for those yellow signs. Don't make them bum rush the stage. Now we're going to hear from Jim Hodgson.
Mandy, Ryan, thank you so much for taking time to speak with you Douglas County Citizenry and Douglas County Public.
Your mic's not high. Louder.
Press that.
So you're
There we go.
put it on the chin, right? Thank you so much for building this for us this evening, both John and I. My name is Jake Bockenfeld, and I'm running for county commissioner because I want to ensure that Douglas County remains the most star state that's lost its way. You know, I grew up in a state where you could play outside till the lights turned off. You could walk home from school, and that's no longer the case. We've seen a lot of crazy things in Colorado in the last 10 to 20 years. This year alone, they tried to decriminalize prostitution. And they're coming for Douglas County next. So that's why I'm running for Douglas County. I want to ensure that my children are able to enjoy the same conservative, faith-based values that we once had in this community, in this state. A little bit about my platform, public safety. I will stand shoulder to shoulder with Sheriff Mandy, being officer, ensuring they continue to have the means necessary to do their job effectively. In a time when we're seeing so much transient crime coming into our community, they need all the support they can get. Protecting our children. It is important that kids need to be kids. In a time when we've seen adult burlesque drag shows in Douglas County over the last few years, exposing minors to inappropriate sexual activity, I will not stand for that as Douglas County Commissioner. Not on public grounds. Fiscal responsibility, that's important. Me as a businessman in the private sector, I know how to run a P&L. We live between our needs, and I'll ensure the county reduces any unnecessary waste and spends your money, it's not their money, your money on things that matter to you all. And lastly, responsible growth. We need to make sure that we're growing within our needs and not going outside of our infrastructure. In a time when we've seen so much in the last 5 to 10 years of the high-density seas of apartments in many of our municipalities, I will not allow that as Douglas County Commissioner. Thank you.
We'll get started with some questions here for each candidate, and they'll each have 2 minutes to respond. Kind of building up what you two gentlemen just said, based on your personal and professional backgrounds, I think what a lot of people out there want to know is what separates you, what differentiates you from other candidates in this race, and what makes you stand out. So I'll start here with John. What specific qualifications do you bring to the Douglas County Commissioner role that would be beneficial to the citizens of this county?
Thank you very much. Again, I've been here 43 years as a resident. I've grown up with this community. I've had the ability to interact at a very robust level as I grew up. This county has made me. I then graduated from college, came back, and became part of the land surveying company. So the land surveying company, we dealt with large-scale infrastructure projects. Our major projects were E470, our major projects, DIA. We also did the T-Rex expansion. Our larger clients were Douglas County. We're all the service providers, IRA, Core. I'm very familiar with all of their future transportation plans, all of their growth plans. And when I left that industry in 06, I did not think I had a need for that information. Lo and behold, when we become elected official at Parker, all that information becomes very, very relevant because all the future planning happens now. So for the last 14 years, it has greatly allowed me to use my knowledge that I gained being in the land surveying business to benefit the town of Parker. I'm a transportation person. The people that I know, the projects that I worked on will bring benefit. I work within the regional level of government, the regional council of governments, Dr. Cobb, and E470. I've been able to work through those issues to bring back money, again, like I said, to Douglas County and to Parker. So my experience, not to mention being a financial planner and operational financial person, running 2 businesses debt-free, and working on budgets within the public sector. It's just, it makes total sense for me to continue on.
If you can hold the applause, it just makes the evening go much quicker, and it just makes it a little easier to manage. I'm going to give that same question to you, Jay. What does your professional background bring to the citizens of Douglas County as a county commissioner?
Yeah, I want to start with my political background. So I've been exposed to politics my entire life in Arapahoe County where I grew up. My father was a Arapahoe County Commissioner for 3 terms, and after that he served as State House Rep at House District 56 for 3 terms. So my dinner time table conversations consisted of how we're going to protect table, how we're going to lower taxes, and how we're going to make sure that Arapahoe County at that time lived within its means. Professionally, that's where it sets me apart. I come from the private sector, where you have to live within your means. I've done multiple projects through multiple industries, starting with the medical industry. I worked on multiple projects I had no experience in, came in, did an outstanding job, and quickly rose in ranks. After COVID hit, they decided where I worked at the time, they were going to force me to get a shot. I did not need it, I was young, I was healthy, so I had to leave my industry. That said, now I work for a concrete manufacturer right here in Douglas County, where I manage $50+ million in P&L annually, and we service the community with our construction units. So I understand how infrastructure works. I understand how to run a budget. I understand how to live within your means. And I understand how to run a business effectively.
Go ahead and ask this next question. I think we went to John first, so Jake, this is for you. Why did you decide to run? As I like to ask people on my show, why did you decide to put your face into the wood chipper?
That's a great question. So my wife, Caitlin, 2 boys are sitting back here reading why. I'm running for county commissioner because I want to ensure, as I mentioned at the beginning of this meeting, that I want to ensure that they have the community that they live that I grew up in. Not only for my kids, but their families as well, and future generations to come. At a time where we're seeing an attack on the Republican Party in Douglas County, and the Democrats think that we're open for business, and I will not stand for that. We need a strong, conservative, faith-based leader who's going to stand up against that and do what's right for the community. I'll tell you a little personal story, and I'll usually try to get through this. My father, I mentioned a little bit ago, he passed away last year in brain cancer. As I mentioned, that was his same mom. I'm a chip off the old block. And it's in my blood to ensure that I'm serving our community and doing what's right for the people, protecting people who can't protect themselves. And this is a calling that I've prayed about. I think God chose me to run for county commissioner. And I truly believe that this is what I was meant to do. And I look forward to serving the community and making sure we continue to keep the great community that we have today.
Thank you. The reason why I decided to run for county commissioner, 14 years as a town department council member, but even before that, growing up here for 43 years, everything that I owe to Douglas County. I went to Douglas County schools, graduated in Ponderosa class of '88. I came back, I got my first job with a local Douglas County employer. Those people gave me the ability to learn, to advance. The people here gave me the ability to be successful in my life, and I feel I owe a debt of gratitude, a debt of service to this county. So what I did is I joined a road service organization, Service Above Self. I had to stand up and say, here's who I am. They said, you should run for this part-time council position. And I said, there was no way that was going to happen. And 2 months later, my wife said, after I told her this is crazy, that a few Rotarians gave me, she said, I think you should. I think you should run because you have something to give. And it would be a shame if you did not try. So 4 elections later, I've been a Bockenfeld and John Diak for 14 years. I've been using everything I have in my whole service to make Douglas County better, to bring money back to Douglas County. That's what drives me. That's my passion. Also, at Ponderosa, when I was at Ponderosa, we had kiddos dying every year on Parker Road. And the community rose up and said, this is wrong. We need help. Governor Rover came down and he said, we can't help you. There was one person who rose up and said, Governor, what's the most expensive part of this? It was about fiscal constraints. And he said, right away. He said, well, we don't have the money to get the right away. So this one person said, if I get you that right away, we'll do the right thing. So 4 months later, the right away was given, and then the people rejoiced. So again, this is incredible, and I hope that serves them.
This next question is a very important topic. In fact, we did have it submitted by some of you as well.
We'll start with John on this with reverse the order once again. The current county commission decided to eliminate public comment at meetings, shutting out the voice of the citizens. In addition, at a recent meeting on the Zebulon project, the preference appeared to be given to those who supported the project, while most people against were told time had run out. John, do you agree or disagree with the commissioners limiting public comment? Why or why not?
Thank you. I would have to say those are the two options I would disagree. Being an elected official, I am of service to these individuals within the community. I need feedback. I need input. I need as much as I can. I've been here 43 years, and I feel like a really good understanding of which way the wind blows in this community. But it's always evolving, and we need every opportunity, whether it's citizen surveys that the town department put on, whether it's the ability for a one-on-one with the individual, whether it's me going as a council member to Discovery Park to just interact with individuals. I need that information. I need everything I can get so I can make the best decision possible when I set up my plans. So to me, I don't understand how I cannot have Jeff Paul comment. Same question, Jay.
Yeah, I agree with John. I don't agree with how they're approaching the public comment part. I will say this, it's important to call out, they've had some meetings where a lot of people are coming from outside of Douglas County, and they were bringing up issues just to cause disruption to the business at hand. So that's why they made the decision they made. I understand that. I think rather than shutting down all public comment outside of what's on the agenda, I think they should still allow a set time limit at the end of the meeting for people who want to come to those meetings from Douglas County and bring up issues that are important to the community as well. I think that's important. The voice of the people is what matters. We serve the people, not the other way around. But again, it's also important to call out that they were having a lot of probably paid anarchists coming to their meetings saying free Tibet, do this about Minnesota ICE, yada, yada, yada. So it's important to call that out.
All right, next question. This question has been submitted multiple times. We're getting a lot of repeats, so we know we're on the right track. This question, and we will start with Jake this time, to switch things back up. Recently, Douglas County citizens voted down a home rule charter in a special election, with many voters saying they voted no because the process seemed rushed. The Colorado Court of Appeals ruled last week that the current board likely violated open meeting laws by having closed-door discussions. First off, what are your views on home rule? We'll start with that.
Yeah, I would say, in the words of Ronald Reagan, 9 words, I'm from the government, I'm here to help. Anything we can do to limit overreach from the Golden Dome is a good thing. That said, I think the home rule initiative last year, Mandy, to your point, it wasn't necessarily, in my opinion, rolled out fully clearly. A lot of Republicans in the county I believe didn't fully understand it. I think it's an opportunity for us as a county maybe to re-explore it as an option, taking our time, ensuring it's what the people want. But anytime we can limit ourselves from what the overreach and the crazy state of Colorado is doing right now is a good thing. In the Colorado Constitution, there's 42 reasons, in my opinion. So.
Follow-up question on that. As a county commissioner, will you participate in meetings such as the ones that led to the court's ruling?
The closed door meetings?
Yeah.
No, I would not. I will follow the rules that I'm supposed to follow as county commissioner. That's very clean cut.
Same question to John. John, your thoughts on home rule?
Yeah, thank you. Home rule, to me, just a little bit of context, the town department and the Board of County Commissioners always have a good relationship as long as I'm an elected official. They have, in the past, have always come to us and said, hey, here's what we're thinking, what we think. That kind of banter, if you will, between municipal entities, I think is good and healthy. It allows us to provide perspective and feedback. The department did not have that ability with Board of County Commissioners and the home rule issue, so I was a citizen. So I did what I could. I came here to the Douglas County Citizenry. I listened to Bockenfeld County, I listened to commissioners about what was going on. I did my research. I had a little bit of was the challenge. It felt rushed. It felt unclear, the messaging. I heard it on the stage. Gun rights was one of those things, overreach. We certainly were protect the Second Amendment, but home rule would not allow us to do things such as that, to affect things such as that. So to me, I could not, I always try to get to yes. I could not get to yes on that. I voted no.
How about on the closed door meetings?
Closed door meetings, no, I don't want to participate.
Gotten several questions from the audience on this one, as you all know, people. So we're going to ask about the move potentially, and John, we'll start with you on this one, from 3 county commissioners to 5. Will you support that? Why or why not?
Yeah, to me, I'm open to it. I think from 3, it's problematic from the legal standpoint. To have a consensus or you need 2, and to me, I'm a very collaborative person. In partner, I have a board of 6. So I have the ability to go to a council member and talk about an issue and for it not to be something that will be subject to the sunshine law. When you have a board of 3, 2 creates that issue. I do not know how you build a relationship with the board, how you communicate when you have 3. That will be very challenging and problematic for me. When you have 5, you have the ability to have more minds in the discussion, and you can make it something better. When I've gone to my council, I didn't have an idea, but that idea has been made better by 1, 2, 3 people. That you need to talk it out, you need to have that discussion, and you need to build a better idea to present it in a public meeting so we can consider it for the benefit of the meeting. So to me, I'm open to it. I would love to see some additional information, a citizen survey question, get a full understanding of what the rank and file out there is, because there are passionate people on both sides, and right now, I would love to have more information, but I'm certainly willing.
And Jake, same question to you. Do you support the move from 3 to 5 commissioners? Why or why not?
I do not, because in the history of the United States of America, when has more government ever been a good thing? As a conservative, grassroots conservative, I believe in limited government, not the other way around. Here's the issue. Representative Bob Marshall, a Democrat, is pushing this out of the State House. They got it in the House last I saw. So again, the state is telling us how to run our county. The reason why he's pushing it so hard is because he wants to create voting blocks. He wants to flip Douglas County blue. What is a voting block? When you go to 5 county commissioners, what happens is you have the urban areas and the rural areas. Those urban areas would outvote the rural areas in those representations. So now we have our rural constituents who no longer have a voice in the board of county commissioners. So it's giving less voice to the people, not the other way around. So that doesn't sound like a good thing to me. Arapahoe County has 5 county commissioners, but they also do not have a county manager. That's why. They have to do all the admin work that's involved. Here in Douglas County, we have a county manager, great one. Handles all that. Our county staff does a great job. So the commissioners can focus on the business at hand, making sure that your voices are heard. Douglas County has always had a great. Why do we need more now? What's changed? Other than the radicals, the gang of 4, trying to take over Douglas County. And that's what it's coming.
All right, please hold your applause. Thank you. Appreciate that. Moving on, the county commission just approved contracts, and Jake, we're going to start with you on this one. The county commission just approved contracts to move forward with the Zebulon Sports Complex, as well as moving towards issuing $100 million in new debt for taxpayers in the form of certificates of participation to fund the project. What's your viewpoint on new debt and allowing citizens to vote on it?
Yeah, so the Zebulon project, the CLPs is a tool that many municipalities and many counties, not only in Colorado but across the country, have used to ensure that they get the means necessary to fund those facilities. As an example, the town of Park used CLPs to fund the public works building. The difference with the Zebulon project is this is a facility that is generating revenue with selling papers, whereas in Parker it was not. As commissioner, I don't support new debt. but I can understand why they're using that tool and many others, such as the town department, are using it.
A follow-up question in that you referenced Tabor earlier. We have a question from two people that said, how do you raise debt on citizens without asking and then say we're going to protect Tabor at the same time?
Me personally,
Joe, please hold your applause.
I do not support doing that, but to my point of that is I understand why the current board did what they did. I didn't have to say it myself, nor does John, nor neither of us, because we're not in that seat, nor will we be the decisions that are already made. Now, my promise to you all, as a future county commissioner, I will make sure that everything is done properly and right once I am in that seat, ensuring that the community is heard.
John, same question for you. Let's see the actual question. What is your viewpoint on your debt and allowing citizens to go on it?
Thank you. To me, I do not, again, two professional business know that they want. I just do not appreciate having debt. So within this world, back out in Parker, we had two projects that were COD. It was a Pace Center and it was the police station. First year, I believe, I was in the public works operations facility. Was also being to me, being a first year individual, it was far along, and to me, I believe I voted in favor of that COD. After I did that, I'm asking the question, why are we doing this? And the answer was, this is what we always do. I'm like, that's unacceptable. So when I got some information, when we figured things out, the no debt policy came into play. We paid off the debt on the Pace Center and police, and we're going to be paying off the debt in 2027 for the public works operations facility. Our approach in Parker is that we need a plan. We need to know what the citizens need in advance. We need to save money, do without, and then we need to self-pay for our major projects. We've been doing that ever since the public works facility, and debt is not an option in Parker. Quite honestly, what I got, what the town department got, council from talking to the board of county commissioners, their focus was to get our debt, so in 2022 to pay off the last debt obligation. That was very important for me because that gave me motivation and perspective. And going back to my town department council members and said, Douglas County, why can't we? So it was a very big deal for those county commissioners who were sitting there at that time to work toward and to have no debt. So that is
About half of the questions on this table for the audience are about this Ed1 project. So I want to ask each of you, I'm going to give you each 2 minutes. Give us your thoughts on the project, why you like it, where you don't, whether or not you think you should move forward. I'll start with you, John.
Thank you. Well, I think the board actions already taken place, so I don't think that there is an option to define that. But in going into it, with my vision of that not being an issue, I had the fortune to be selected to bring public comment at this meeting. And the COP tool was something that I just had a challenge with. I couldn't get over it. Using the lease opportunity as sort of a way to not go to the voters and ask and say, is this what you want? If you go to the citizen surveys, the responses to the citizen surveys did not, where it was not an exam, yes, we need this to happen. So to me, I would have worked through it with the citizens on a very prolonged basis. I probably would have gone for 30% design. Would have gone back to the citizens, said, this is what we're looking for, is this something we need? And to me, then you then have an idea of ultimately how much it's going to cost. And then you can go to a consultant that's outside, that has an expertise in the industry to identify if there's a subsidy. Then you also identify what the overall cost is. So to me, that long, prolonged conversation with the community yields positive results. That's what we do in the town of Parker. That's what the commissioners that mentor me here in Douglas County have taught me. So to me, citizen engagement, going out to the citizen and asking questions, and if their answer is different than what I feel, they
Yeah, for me, with two young boys in baseball, heavily involved in baseball, the facility itself and Zebulon as a whole, I think is a great thing for Douglas County. Here's why. For those of us who are in the sports community, we have a lot of kids who are involved in sports. We don't have enough facilities. The last facility in Douglas County that was built was back in 2004. Now, if you think about the population growth and all of the younger families who are in Douglas County now today, there's plenty of opportunity for us to utilize that facility for many different sports. Right now, we travel out of the county. We travel out of the state. At County Assembly, my son was actually down in Arizona playing baseball. If Douglas County had a facility that could accommodate those types of tournaments, that would be amazing. Not only for the community and generating tax revenue, but also keeping our kids involved in sports. Because why is sports important? Sports makes kids so they can not only get involved, it teaches them how to be leaders, it teaches them how to lose gracefully, and it sets them up to be great adults when they're older. So, yes, I did testify before I announced my candidacy. I did testify on behalf of Zebulon last year because I think it is a great opportunity for us to really build upon our community. It's something that a lot of people do want.
Well, for each of you, and Jake, we'll start with you. Do you have any concerns about ongoing environmental contamination at the site?
At Zebulon, so CPHE, they already did an evaluation and there's no contamination concerns. I believe from what I understand, there's one area that's fairly branches taken care of. There's some fire extinguishing problem. But outside of that, CPHE is already cleared and there's no issues.
John, same to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, to me, I know the history of that parcel. I think we should, we as a county should have had great meetings, especially if we can move on that parcel long term, to be sure that parcel is clean and available to be utilized. I don't know if the information is fully out there. I don't know in my mind if I have 100% certainty that that's the case. I would like to see more documentation. I would like to see potentially some more studies done to ensure and to those be presented in a very public forum so we can work through it as a team.
John, we'll start with you on this one again. We had a couple of questions about this issue, and it's also on with some questions we had coming in. There's been some controversy and criticism about a drag show that was allowed in Parker, as well as the upcoming Douglas County Pride event scheduled for Salisbury Park in Parker. How do you respond to those who say this should not be happening in Parker or in Douglas County?
A great question, and again, it's one of those things that issue is a constitutional issue. We don't have the ability at the local level to usurp or override federal constitutional issues. They have the right to assemble. They have freedom of speech. We have had legal counsel to guide us as to what we can and can't do. And we have a community that's permanent. Any applicant can come and submit. If Parker has the ability to host the event, they have the availability, if they have the means, the resources to do that, then we ask them if they're going to follow the laws of the Constitution, the federal state constitution, as well as local laws. They have to sign in order to get the permit. So we by law have to allow that to happen. The government cannot discriminate against one entity, one person. That's it.
Jake, same question for you. Drag shows, Pride event in Salisbury Park, Parker, Douglas County. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure parents and children have constitutional rights as well. I don't think exposing our children to men dressed as women have naked doing sexual acts is protected by the Constitution. Castle Rock stopped it. I don't see why everyone else can't stop it in Douglas County or Parker for that matter. So I don't understand why there's an issue there. Sexual acts in front of children is not okay. Just like we don't have any strip clubs in Douglas County, we don't have any dispensaries in Douglas County. So why do we need to have this? to have an event in a private facility funded by private funds, that's great. But not in public grounds and funded by taxpayer dollars. That is absolutely not okay, and I will not put up with it as county commissioner.
I want to ask a bigger question of both of you, and it's the question that's boring but incredibly important, and that is, as we continue to grow in Douglas County, let's talk about water, the water needs of Douglas County. What do you foresee in the near future as a county commissioner you would take on as that part of your responsibilities? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I look forward, because water's been an issue in Douglas County for many years. I know we made a lot of strides over the years, but we still have some work to do here. I've met with North Boss, I talked about what they're doing in Park Water and Sanitation District. I've also met with some others as well. We need to get off our dependency on aquifers. Some say those will last 100 years, some say those will last a couple weeks, we don't know. It just depends on who you ask. As county commissioner, I think we do need to continue to reinforce our infrastructure to accommodate getting off aquifers and rely solely on renewable resources. Obviously, River Nestle had a great facility for storage that can hold as much capacity as we need, but it needs to be treated, and that's the issue we're running into now today. So, as county commissioner, I look forward to not only working with Park Water, but all the sanitation districts across our county to continue moving in the right direction. It's going to take time, but I look forward to it.
Water, so those guys not a water provider, but again, that's one of the important things we need to have. As a side note, in my past life, we had the great fortune of being part of that River Nest Reservoir design and construction. So Parker Water Center, specifically Frank Yeager, he was a character. He had foresight to get that thing going, and it took about 25 years. And I'm so thankful that we have that. So for us at the county, it's very important, again, to work with our water providers. We have a lot of them. They come to the Park Town Council, Public Water Sanitation, and report back as to how things are. Things are going pretty good with Public Water Sanitation. Here at the council, things are going pretty good there too. I think the challenge is that we also have rural parts of this county which don't have water providers. And we need to ensure that those people who don't have those water providers actually have access to water. They want to live that great life away from all those parks and recreation boundaries that we have in Parker and Castleton, and make sure that they have every right to do so. We in the county need to take steps to ensure that they have water accessibility, and anything that we do does not hinder or impair their ability to access.
All right, John, we'll start with you on this one too. Myself, as a first-time home buyer, I've been told that Parker is one of, if not the hottest commodity destination for people that are looking to move into the area. That leads to some concerns of local residents about how the town is developing and how fast, especially in terms of which businesses are being improved. For instance, with so many car washes versus other types of businesses. Managing growth is a big issue that commissioners oversee, and you would be one of those. What is your approach to this growth, and how did you exercise that approach while in Parker Town Council?
Within Parker, we had growth IGAs with Douglas County when I first started. Those are very important because, again, how Parker grew is they grew through annexation. What happens is that a developer or a parcel owner wants to do something more intensive, so they would then they would go to the county would say, well, no, you have to go to Parker. Parker would then have the ability to shape what kind of growth would happen. I would be an advocate for it, and again, those growth IGAs went away. To me, I think those are very valuable to have. So as a county commissioner, I would like to re-engage those discussions with the municipalities. And again, it's not. It's something that we would need to understand, okay, if there's something the developer wants to do, they won't shut up, okay, the county will improve it, Parker will improve it, another entity will improve it. I think it's important we all work together when it comes to growth. People look to us to kind of have answers and to grow in a logical way. And I think those growth ideas
car washes.
Car washes, yeah, well, yeah, this is one, car washes, we have heard, we have noticed, car washes, I don't know how many car washes we have. We have commercial corners in Parker, as Parker developed, if you want to develop, single family residential, we asked for retail commercial corners to be a part of that. In my opinion, we should have maybe, kind of gone away from that mandate and let single family residential, because you have open corners. And I think when you have open corners, people who, the hot things to do now are the gas stations and those car washes and stuff like that. So to me, I know I can get my car, I'm not going against if I can go somewhere.
Clean, well-fueled car.